Tobago, thank you for joining me. Whether you are joining me from right here on island or you're joining me from across the country or across the diaspora, thank you and welcome to a post-executive press briefing today, Tuesday, the 5th of February, 2026. There are just four matters I wish to address you on this afternoon. Well, primarily three, and then I'll take questions from members of the media who are present and online. The first matter I wish to address is the matter concerning the sea bridge and the ferry. And I wish to read some elements for you verbatim in terms of the updates we have at this time. Now, the Port Authority of Trinidad and Tobago has engaged the services of a 67-meter barge for a period of 10 days. The barge will commence operation on Friday, 6th, meaning tomorrow. This barge will commence operation as part of the interim measure to ensure that the goods that are required can come to the island. The barge will transport cargo over 7,000 kgs, including dangerous cargo, livestock, and bulk cargo. Basically, the items that cannot be accommodated on the existing passenger vessels. Now, the movement of cargo via the barge will be managed via an appointment-based booking system, which is not unusual but similar to what was utilized when the boats went on dry dock last year. Now, the barge will accommodate approximately 30 trucks at a time. NITCO has advised of the reintroduction of the Buku Reef with effect from Monday, 9th of February 2026. So again, the Buku Reef is being reintroduced to the service from Monday, the 9th of February 2026. The Buku Reef accommodates approximately 948 passengers and 160 vehicles. The vessels that are currently in service are as follows. The APT James currently is doing 2 sailings per day, as in one round trip, and that has a capacity of 900 passengers, 150 vehicles. The Galleons Passage currently undertaking 2 sailings per day, and that has a capacity for 20 cars, 20 vans, and 10 trucks. Now, importantly, you must note that the loading capacity for passenger vessels will be affected by the individual vehicle load. That's important to note. I'm also advised at this time that the Blue Wave Harmony, that NITCO has confirmed that the welding works, the final welding works, commenced today, the 5th of February, and that the contractor has advised that based on scope of works, a total of 4 full days of welding is required. So upon completion of works, another inspection has to be undertaken by class, and NITCO expects that the Blue Wave Harmony to be in full operation by latest Wednesday next week. Those are the updates as of now. I want to also point out an important factor. The important factor is there is literally nothing anyone in the Tobago House of Assembly or in the ministry could have done to prevent what happened from happening. We say in Tobago, you don't know where breezes come from to lean foul tail. In other words, you just don't know when Murphy's Law will kick in. And I don't know that there is blame to be passed on policymakers over the vessels not working. I don't know if as Chief Secretary I could stop strong winds, if I could stop the sea from misbehaving. I don't know if I have the voice of Jesus and I could just say calm and it will be calm. But those are not powers I have at this time. And so there's literally nothing we could have done on our end to prevent that from happening. Given that it has happened, we have had these incidents and accidents. What we are doing is working closely with the Port Authority, closely with NITCO, closely with the Ministry of Works in ensuring that the matter is rectified soonest, and that measures are in place to ensure that we can provide some relief during this holdout period. And that's why the badge has been introduced by the Port Authority as a measure. That's why the book reef is being reintroduced on Monday, so as to ensure we have sufficient spaces to move people in the space, certainly until the Blue Wave Harmony is introduced into full operations latest Wednesday next week. The second matter I wish to talk to you about is just to simply highlight that tomorrow at 1 p.m. you will have a full press briefing on the operations for the National Carnival in Tobago and what will be taking place. You will have the secretary with the responsibility here, along with the Festival Commission, and they will be projecting to you tomorrow at 1 p.m. all that you can expect over the Carnival weekend, certainly on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. I think that's the 16th and 17th of February. The third issue I want to bring to your attention is one that I spoke about on the campaign trail. I indicated to you on the campaign trail as a matter of commitment that we would go to the court to have interpretations done on the OPR regulations, the law governing the Office of the Procurement Regulator, with a view of having the court make a determination as to whether or not Tobago and the Tobago House of Assembly in this instance can exclusively reserve or any contract, any tender only to Tobagonians. In other words, we want the court to tell us definitively, not with any ambiguity, whether or not the THA can say for any project that only Tobagonians can bid for this project, as opposed to an open tender for the entire country to participate in. I wish to advise that the Senior State Counsel's Office has retained Mr. Kelvin Ramkisoon, attorney at law, to lead in this case. I also wish to advise that that sometime today my office dispatch a letter, and I anticipate that the head of the New Contractors Association will receive said letter by latest tomorrow. We dispatched a letter to Mr. Parks because we require a deponent in this case. What we require is at least one Tobago-based contractor or service provider who can speak to the practical disadvantage or exclusion arising from the present uncertainty and who has a genuine interest in the interpretation sought. So we are my office, through my pen, drafted a letter which I dispatched earlier today that I'm certain will get to Mr. Parks by tomorrow, asking if he will put pen to paper and indicate what are the practical disadvantages given the current system and operations of our procurement regulations here in Tobago and in the country. In other words, how is the Tobagonian firm disadvantaged through open tender process, for which any firm in the country can participate, as opposed to allowing Tobago to be exclusive in our procurement positioning. And so we are preparing the interpretation summons as we speak. That's well on the way. The Senior State Counsel's Office has enlisted Mr. Kelvin Ramkisoon, attorney at law, to lead in this case. And so we are asking the court to make that determination for us, which, once the court does that, will now become definitive insofar as how we operate going forward. Having raised these issues with you, is at this juncture I ask for any questions. If you have any questions, member of the media, you can raise your hand. And that looked like Miss Green from Tobago Updates.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hey,
Chief
good evening.
Secretary,
Yes.
we're asking in terms of the cost of the barge. Do we have a cost for that barge, which is going to be the interim transport for the bulk goods?
And no, I don't have a cost for the badge. I will ask that you redirect that question to the Ministry of Works, under whose remit NITCO falls.
Thank you.
Ms. Williams, TV6 News.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chief Secretary.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chief Secretary. Just wanted to know, have two questions with respect to the MV Blue Wave. We know that the situation is unfortunate. I don't know if you have a cost factor in terms of per day. How much is it costing taxpayers for the Blue Wave Harmony? And also, I also saw that you had a meeting with the EMA. I know you raised questions previously concerning Tobago's autonomy and questions arising towards the EMA and its interpretation in terms of coming to Tobago with respect to projects. Did you raise any questions with respect to Tobago's autonomy and the projects with respect to Tobago during this meeting?
Okay, thank you for the questions. The matter of the cost per day for the Blue Wave, as in that lay-down time, what it is costing the ministry, I will ask Ms. John to provide us with that cost, and once I get the costing, I will then redirect it to you. But I don't have a cost at this time in terms of what the repairs are costing and what is causing NITCO to get the vessel prepared. But as you said, it's just really unfortunate that this happened. Having viewed the vessel myself, I could tell you the vessel has the potential for significant, improving the trade significantly between the both islands. And I am hopeful that all things will go well and that the vessel will be on stream by next week, Wednesday, as is the projected date at this time. And that I believe will allow us some opportunity even during this carnival period. To your second question concerning the EMA, yes, the matter of autonomy is raised. I want to take your mind back to the litigation we had with the EMA while the road was being constructed, going through Friendship. And I believe that matter went before Mr. Frank Sipasad. I stand corrected if I'm wrong. But one of the points Mr. Sipasad in that judgment pointed out is that while the law says that the THA is responsible for environment, we can't have a situation where there is no agency in Tobago dealing with the things the EMA is dealing with, and at the same time say we are not going to work with the EMA. So we have to continue working with the EMA until such time as we develop our agency here on island in keeping with the spirit of Act 40 of 1996. The meeting I had with the EMA today was quite fruitful. And in fact, this is the second time in 2 months I am meeting with the EMA. Second time in 2 months. And one of the things the EMA pledged to do is to work expeditiously in treating with the requests from Tobago that are before the EMA. On the campaign trail, I spoke about how inordinately long it takes. I spoke about the fact that we have had instances where EMA stopped work, private development, only to return 8 months later to say, oh, you didn't really need environmental clearance for this project. So I spoke about those anomalies, The current board of the AMA, they have pledged to work with the THA, to work closely with us, and to ensure that they can work efficiently in ensuring that we safeguard our environment on one hand, and on the other hand, allowing the built development to continue at a pace that is reasonable. Mr. Turner, followed by Channel 5 and followed by Ms. Douglas of TTT.
Yes, good afternoon, Chief. I have two questions. First up, as it pertains to the incident with the blue wave, are you concerned that there is need for work to be done or action to be taken to minimize the impact of wave action on vessels in the Scarborough port? Because this is not the first time we've had strong winds impacting vessels in the port. So are you concerned that there's need for action to be taken in that regard? That's one. And two, as it pertains to the Carnival in Tobago next week, there is again concern about the spend by Tobago on Carnival in February. I do believe when the October Carnival was resurrected some years ago, that there was a view that in time it would be the Carnival that would take place in Tobago. So are we any closer to deciding whether or not we are going to go with one Carnival, or will we continue with two Carnivals, one in February and one in October?
Thank you for your two questions. With your first question, you know that we have a strategic plan to build out the port in Scarborough. And that building out of the port in Scarborough will allow us to even construct the port in such a way that it becomes a safer, calmer harbor. Notwithstanding that, sometimes nature will just do what nature wants to do. And I want to point out at something. I have seen where around the same time this was happening in Tobago, Royal Caribbean ship had to be abruptly diverted away from Coco Key due to pier damage. So there was pier damage at Coco Key, causing a diversion away from Coco Key of cruise ships, just because the sea was inordinately rough that day and the pier or the jetty got damaged. So things like that can happen. Nothing human beings build will ever be beyond destruction. Certainly we can't outbuild and outperform nature itself. And so one must expect that occasionally, certainly with climate change, that things will happen that will bring into jeopardy anthropogenic features such as jetties, such as things built along coastlines. We just have to prepare and respond to it. It happened, we are responding, and we are ensuring that the vessel will be back up and running in the shortest possible time. With regards to your second question about the Carnival, I will want you to save that question for tomorrow when the Carnival press conference is happening. But I can tell you that we are certainly very close to that point where we can safely say that Tobago will have one primary Carnival, which is the October Carnival. In fact, I think we are at that point where we have one primary Carnival, which is the October Carnival, and February is a camp for relaxation, for rejuvenation, and for those who want to get away from the Carnival in Trinidad to come to Tobago. But you will get some details on that tomorrow when you speak to Secretary Hackett and the Festival Commission. Tobago Channel 5. Tobago Channel 5, you have to unmute.
Oh, hello, good afternoon, Chief.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, our question is concerning, firstly, the effect of sea blast on the vessels and trucks on the barge in traveling to Tobago, and how effective was the barge the last time it was used to bring cargo in terms of the percentages of use, the capacity, and with the blue wave, Harmony being leased for 1 year, how far along, or are there any updates on the construction of the new vessel for cargo?
I thank you. Yes, once the barge is being used, there will always be concern about the sea sprays, what we call colloquially in Tobago sea blast. Those sea sprays always will have the potential of corroding anything that is metal and not protected. Notwithstanding that, the barge is only a temporary measure. The barge is only meant to exist for a very short time. For a very, very short time. All right. And so it's not meant to be permanent. And in this instance, it will only operate for a few days, more or less. In terms of capacity of the barge and how it was used the last time around, I don't have the answer to that question. I can't say at what capacity it was used. I think it was sometime mid last year when the vessels went on dry dock. But I can get that information for you. In terms of how far along they are with the construction of a new vessel, I don't think that they are too far along just yet. What was stated to us by the minister and the ministry is that the Blue Wave Harmony is here for 1 year, which will give us sufficient time to do the necessary feasibility, scoping, possibly construction of a new vessel, or to just purchase a vessel outright that already exists that might be appropriate for the space. So we have the Blue Wave for 1 year. It is our job to keep the ministry on its toes and to ensure that they provide a permanent solution thereafter. And a question we need to ask ourselves, that must come after some cost-benefit analysis, must be whether it makes more sense, CENTS that is, to lease a vessel year on year versus owning a vessel year on year. That sort of cost-benefit analysis too, I think, should be done to inform what the ultimate decision should be. Ms. Douglas?
Pleasant afternoon, Chief Secretary Augustine. I just have one question, seeking clarification regarding what you stated that the Buko Reef will be reintroduced from Monday. Does this mean that the Buko Reef there will be a sailing using the Buko Reef on Monday? If yes, the report indicate when will this be added to the inter-island ferry schedule online? Because I made a check and I noted it has not yet been added. If they have updates as to when persons could check, they could go to the port to purchase tickets, or if go to the outlets, when will this information be made available? Thank you.
I thank you for that. So I don't know when it will be loaded on the Port Authority's website or on their system, but I actually read for you verbatim the updates as sent to me by Minister John. And essentially in the update it states that NITCO has advised of the reintroduction of the Buko Reef with effect from Monday 9th February 2026, which means that it will resume sailing from Monday, and that the Buko Reef accommodates 948 passengers and 180 vehicles. I thank you for those questions, and before we bring this to a close, now we were in Executive Council meeting from this morning until the time I came to address you. As a matter of fact, I came straight from the Executive Council meeting to address you, leaving the other secretaries and assistant secretaries having their meals. And this note was passed to me momentarily. Well, a moment ago, apologies, just being tired. But the note was passed to me a moment ago. And I want to extend sincerest condolences to the family of Michael Okubosa of Scarborough Secondary School. He is a 6B student. He collapsed during a basketball game today and at a game versus Bishop's High School at Montgomery. He was taken to hospital. He had no known medical condition. CPR was done, but unfortunately he passed away. I know this must be gut-wrenching to the family. I am reading it, and I can only imagine how a parent, how relatives will feel, how classmates will feel, and certainly the Division of Education will provide all the necessary student support services to the family, to the classmates, to the teachers. We'll ensure the necessary counseling and treating with the trauma is done. But at this point, the Tobago House of Assembly wishes to extend condolences to the family of Michael Okubosa of Scarborough Secondary School, a 6B student who collapsed at a basketball game today versus Bishop's High School. That game was being held at the Montgomery ground. He was taken to hospital. He had no known medical conditions prior. CPR was actually done trying to revive him, but unfortunately, he passed away. Certainly, we will stay in touch with the family and we'll do all that is necessary to provide support to the family at this time. And we ask that the island of Tobago, that you keep the family of young Mr. Michael Okubosa in your prayers. I hope I got the name correct. Thank you. Please have a good day. I know this evening is the infamous interdepartment show. I wish the Carnival people were here today. I wish all the other divisions the best, because I understand that the Office of the Chief Secretary will be winning this evening. So I wish you all the very best to see who will come second to the Office of the Chief Secretary. That aside, though, one of the things we strive for this year's interdepartment is to get the competition being much cleaner. That we're not as degrading in our acts and our lyrics for the competition. So efforts were made to ensure the thing is streamlined in a way that is much more appropriate. But it is all in all good fun, healthy competition among the divisions, and a way for our workers and members of staff to come together and interact with each other, to break bread, to lime a bit in this season. I think the interdepartment show is the biggest event on the Carnival calendar. And so we wish all the divisions the very best. Again, you will hear from the Carnival practitioners tomorrow. They will be much more of an authority in terms of speaking to what's happening for Carnival in Tobago, February 2026. And I wish you a safe weekend. Again, by now, I'm sure you have heard that the medium band finals will be held in Trinidad, but it is still under the auspices of the Tobago House of Assembly that remains a title sponsor for this event. And so some of us will be there to support those in the competition. I believe there are 2 Tobago bands in the finals, and we're wishing them the very, very, very best. OJ knows that wherever he goes, he gets my backing and support. And certainly we want to congratulate those who have made it all the way into the finals of the large band category for 2026. Certainly the Tobago Rangers continue to win, even in this season, which speaks to our development of the art form and the music. I passed through, spent a moment with Deuce Band. What's the name of Deuce Band? Steel Explosion. Yes, Steel Explosion. So I spent a moment with them last night, and certainly there was some good groundings there with the young people there as they're preparing for their efforts in Trinidad this weekend. So again, good luck, best of luck to all of our those in the steel band. Those who are going to the big yard for Calypso, best of luck to you as well. For interdepartment, best of luck to all the divisions fighting for second place to the Office of the Chief Secretary. Please have a productive weekend. With all the liming, you're liming tonight. Remember, we are work tomorrow, right? The THA is open for business tomorrow, Friday. So only lime your lime. We are work tomorrow. Come to the people work tomorrow, please. And thanks. All right? God bless you. Have a good afternoon. Have a safe one and enjoy the weekend ahead.